Canada geese are among the most aggressive animals on the planet. They're known for their brazen attitude and they will attack anyone who gets in their way. But why are these geese so aggressive? Well, it all comes down to one simple word: survival. Geese live in groups called gaggles, and the larger the gaggle, the more vulnerable its members are to predators. Being in a group makes them more visible and easier targets for predators like coyotes, wolves, and bears. To compensate for this, Canada geese have evolved to be extremely aggressive towards any perceived threat. When a predator attacks a goose, the whole gaggle participates in the defense. Hundreds of honks sound off as the geese charge, peck and kick at the predator, creating an absolute cacophony of noise and fury. And their ferocity works. In most cases, the predators give up and move on to easier prey. This group defense has helped the geese survive for thousands of years. And because of this, today's geese are just as aggressive as their ancestors. But don't think that they only attack when they're in danger. Sometimes they attack out of nowhere, and the reason is kinda silly. Geese are fiercely territorial, especially during mating season. If you accidentally wander into their territory, they might just attack you. Even though geese aren't usually dangerous to humans, they can deliver powerful bites and deep scratches with their beaks and claws. And they can also really hurt you by pecking out your eyes, although this is very rare. So if you do get attacked by a goose, try to protect your head and face and don't stare back. Just keep calm and slowly back away from the goose. Try not to make direct eye contact, which can be seen as a threat, and try to put some distance between you and the bird. Also, never run away from a goose. As tempting as it may be, never turn your back on a goose either. The ideal strategy is to stand still, relax, and slowly back away while keeping an eye on the goose. If it gets too close, shield your face with your hands or put on sunglasses to protect your eyes. Of course, there are many other animals that are much more dangerous than geese. But given how aggressive geese can be, it's best not to mess with them. Now, what if you could befriend a goose? It turns out that befriending a wild animal isn't so difficult. A man named Joe from Canada became friends with a goose just by feeding it. And it wasn't just any goose, it was a Canada goose. And the friendship between the two became so strong that the goose would follow him everywhere he went, even riding in his truck. In fact, the goose followed Joe for 13 kilometers. That's about 8 miles. At first, Joe thought that this was just a coincidence, but then he realized that the goose was really trying to be his friend. After all, animals are capable of forming affection towards their caretakers. But a friendship between a man and a wild goose is pretty unique. Joe started making videos about his adventures with the goose and posted them on YouTube. He also created a Facebook page where he shared stories about his feathered friend. Soon, Joe had more than 40,000 followers on Facebook, and his videos had millions of views. Unfortunately, not everyone was happy about this friendship. Some people were envious of Joe and the attention he was getting. Others just didn't believe that a man could be friends with a goose. But Joe didn't let this bother him. He continued sharing his adventures with the goose until one day he received a threatening message. It was from someone he knew. This person threatened to harm the goose unless Joe stopped posting videos about it. Of course, Joe didn't back down. He refused to let some jealous person ruin his friendship with the goose. Instead, he decided to prove to everyone that a man and a goose can be friends. Joe kept posting videos of him and the goose having fun together. He showed how much the goose loved to ride in his truck and how it would greet him when he came home. Joe also shared funny stories about the goose and taught people how to befriend their own feathered friends. As you can see, geese can be very aggressive. After all, they're just trying to survive in a world full of predators. But they can also be very friendly if you know how to approach them. Just don't be like the jealous person who threatened Joe. If not, you might end up getting hurt. We're curious to know if you've ever been attacked by a goose. Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more interesting videos about amazing animals. See you soon. Bye!